Okay, it's beer o'clock on Reload Craft Beer, and we're going to get together here on YouTube and talk about a touchy subject. A touchy subject that I want you all to comment on. I want every one of you who are watching this video to have a little comment, have your own opinion on this, because I think this opinion is a big one, and I think this is a big subject in beer, and I think we should just get on and discuss this particular beer. We all know the Brewdog versus beers, the Brewdog versus Weihenstephanen. We all know that beer, wonderful beer, and they had no trouble at all putting the name Weihenstephanen on the bottom here, where this has been scrubbed out. It's ShipWreck by Brewdog versus Ballast Brewing Company. And for the people who are in the know, for the people who are not in the know, Ballast Point, towards the end of last year, 2015, were bought out by Corona. Or Cerveza Modelo. One of the... I can't even think of the name of the company. I'm just going to call it Corona. They got bought out by Corona. Caused a lot of upset and anger in the industry, including Mr. James Watt. Mr. James Watt was very vocal on this subject. He said right at the beginning, when this happened, he'll never ever stock in his bars again a Ballast Point beer. And I kind of get his anger now. I kind of get why, not his anger, but I kind of get why he was angry. His reason for being angry. And that is because, obviously, this is a barrel-aged beer. It's been brewed with agave and left in oak barrels for quite a long time. So while all of this was going on, while this whole subject was unfolding, this beer was in a barrel. And they probably invested a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources into pulling this project together, and then wondering what to do with it after they got bought out. And this is the result. The result is that Brewdog have crossed out the name Ballast Point and their logo off the label. It's a 13.8% ABV beer. Here's the Brewdog bottle cap. We're going to get the beer out into a glass and see what we get, and then we're going to talk about the beer further and this subject further along the line. Oh! Oh, blimey. I don't think I was shaking the beer around too much. So, 13.8% ABV. Quite a carbonated brew then. I think that's the first Brewdog beer that's exploded in anger, and it was quite fitting really that it did explode in anger with the subject we're talking about. Okay, so beer in the glass, golden coloured ale, amber coloured ale, clear as a whistle, as you would expect from Brewdog. Nice levels of carbonation, one finger white head. Let's get the aroma on this 13.8% ABV beer. I can tell you that I'm smelling the aroma of lots of peated whiskey barrels is finding its way to my nostrils from a good foot away. Let's dive in. I'd like to thank the people at Brewdog Cardiff for the beer. Fantastic, thank you very much. Popped into the bar today and got a bottle off them. And it smells quite very smoky, peaty. You do get the kick of alcohol. 13.8% ABV. It's a massive beer then. You get the wood, the oak, a little bit of treacle, lots of toffee, and a bit of sweetness. And some fruit from the hops. Should we dive in? Cheers. Oh. Wow. Wow. 13.8% ABV, you will never hide the alcohol. There will always be a kick of alcohol. Blimey, it's warming as it's going down. Really nice, actually. I quite enjoy that. Kick of alcohol, warming as it sinks into my stomach. A beautiful beer. It really is a beautiful beer. It reminds me of something that really should be kind of poured out and slowly sipped. I had a big mouthful there and it was kind of boom, amazing stuff. It's peaty. It's got a lot of green wood, fresh. I'm a carpenter by trade. It's like the barrels have been made by really kind of young beech trees. It's got that kind of sappy, fresh green wood taste about it. A little bit of carbonation. Surprised, I thought there might be a little bit more, especially with the way that beer blew open on me. As for style, it's really intriguing. I'm wondering, of course, I'm thinking to myself, 13.8% ABV, it's been brewed in Scotland. Is it a wee heavy Scotch ale? Scottish wee heavy? Barley wine? I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to yourselves. Actually, as a reviewer, I best tell you what I think. I'm probably going to go with peated barley wine. That's my view. That's my opinion on what style this beer is. Not read the whole label. Big description down there. I'm not one to read labels. I'd rather just give you my opinion as I'm drinking the beer. But yeah, I'm going to give you a rating. And then if you want to hang around for a little while longer, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my opinion, my thoughts on taking out the name Ballast Point on this. So rating. Would I buy the beer again? That's the question. If I knew I was going to have 5 friends round the house, we're going to have a damn good drink, and we wanted to finish on something a little bit special, then yes, I would purposely buy a bottle for that occasion. I wouldn't buy this beer for myself to sit in the chair and drink a whole bottle of at 13.8% ABV. I don't know, maybe I would. Maybe I would if it was the middle of December, it was -4 outside, I had nothing else to do and I was cold. That would be the only other reason why I would buy this beer and drink it, the whole bottle to myself. It's a beer to share. It's tasty, it's peaty, it's malty. I don't think I've ever had a gave. I think a gave is some kind of, coffee. I don't really know what a gave is, so I'm not going to comment on that kind of particular flavour. I'm sure it's in the beer. But I'm going to give this beer... I'm going to give it... I don't know, I'm struggling between a 7 and an 8. 7 and an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7.5. A 7.5 out of 10. To the people who are leaving, thank you for watching. Please comment, please subscribe, and cheers. For the people who are going to hang on now and listen to my personal opinion on what I think this situation was handled, because it was a situation and it has been handled, and I think this situation has been handled by James Watt. I think he blasted out that tweet. I think it was his, I don't think it was the Brewdog account on Twitter. I think it was his own account that he blasted under Brewdog James. I think he just blasted out this kind of, we'll never serve their beer again. They've left craft beer forever by selling out to Corona, or the company that owns Corona, Cerveza Modelo, that company. I think that they brewed this collaboration. I'm pretty sure they had a really good time. I'm pretty sure James Watt laid out the red carpet for these people, and they had a really good time at the brewery, at the bars after. I know, I've been to these occasions myself. I've been to a lot of the breweries in the UK. I've been to Polish breweries. I've been to Norwegian breweries and Belgium tours, and kind of been there and done it. And they really do. When you go out to these places, when you visit different countries, and when you visit different breweries around the UK and Europe, they really do look after you. It's part of the experience. So I'm pretty sure they would have bonded and had a really nice relationship and had a really nice time together. And then they would have flown all the way back. Let's not forget that they flew all the way from America, the people from Ballast Point. So they took their own time to come over to the UK, to Scotland, to brew with Brewdog. Now, the handshake was done, everything was okay, smiles on everybody's faces, everybody went home. The beer was put in barrels, and then of course, in the meantime, Ballast Point sell out to Cerveza Modelo stroke Corona stroke whatever they're called. And then all hell breaks loose. James Watt's angry. He's got all of these barrels of beer in his brewery. He don't know what to do with them. He's thinking to himself, I'm never going to serve this beer again. I'm never going to put them in their bars. He tweets that, and he's kind of he's made his decision, and that's it. So the decision they've then made is to cross out the name Ballast Point and the Ballast Point logo on the bottom. So despite having a really good time with these people, and they're human beings, he still went on and decided to keep the beer, not throw it away, but just to cross out that with what looks like, it's not somebody sitting there with a black marker. It's that they've made the label with it crossed out, and then they've mass produced this label with the black marker on. I personally don't agree, and I'm going to tell you why. I went to Stella Artois back in August of last year, and when I found out that some of my fellow bloggers were going to Three Fontainen and I was going to Stella, I was furious. I was absolutely livid. I was eating my breakfast. I was bloody taking it on the sausage, taking it on the bacon, smashing my bacon into my eggs, and I was kind of rushing my breakfast down. And I wanted to slam my hands down on the table because these people were going to Three Fontainen and I was going to Stella Artois. But actually, on arrival, I know it's a huge place. There's lots of robots, there's lots of machines, there's lots of machines doing people's work. Believe me, there's no monks stirring mash tuns or stirring the wort at Stella. But I actually met people, and I was determined not to have a good time. Absolutely determined not to have a good time at this brewery. I was angry, but I went there and I made a few snarky, ignorant comments about they were telling me about their corn mash and I was going, corn, ha ha ha, and I was being a bit of a prick, to be honest. But then I got to know the kind of tour guide. I realised he had a family. And I met some other people, and they were funny, and we got along, and they had interesting craft beer, and they also had a family. And my conclusion at the end of this tour of Stella is that at the end of the day, they're human beings. Whether they produce craft beer, whether they produce regular beer, they're human beings, and they rely on their jobs to support their families. So, where am I going with this? Where am I going? I suppose I went to the biggest brewery in the world, and I made a video, and I left the snarky comments in the video. I'm pretty sure they didn't mind, Stella. But I left having a good time with a human being. With a family and friends, and just like me, a normal guy. And I'm pretty sure James Watt, and I'm pretty sure the other guys at Brewdog had a damn good time with the people from Ballast Point. And then yet this, yet saying they'll never serve their beer again, and they're crossing out the labels with a black marker, and they're saying Ballast Point is not craft. These people have jobs. These people have responsibilities. These people have families. And I'm pretty sure they've gone home, and I'm pretty sure they're very, very upset, I'd say, by this. By this outcome. I'm pretty sure they're upset by it. And I would be too. I would be too. So that's my opinion. Was it right to completely screw the name, get rid of the name on the label of Ballast Point? Was it right? My opinion, no. I totally understand if your opinion is different. If you're watching from Brewdog, then if you don't agree with me, fine. It's my own opinion, fine. I understand that. But just to finish on it, you must have had a good time. You must have had a good time with these people when they came over. And you must have left shaking hands and hugging and patting on the back and having a good time. And I bet they said they had a wonderful time visiting Scotland and your bars, and they enjoyed the food and maybe some haggis or whatever you did with them. And I bet they didn't realise the outcome of what was going to happen with the beer that they brewed with you. So that's my opinion, that's my way, that's my finishing kind of thoughts on this. As I said at the very start of the video, I really want your opinion on what's going on what's happened here in the comments box. I want it to be discussed, and I'll get involved, and we'll have a chat, and it'll all be good fun. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment, please subscribe, and cheers.